Okay, this is your daily review for Monday, April 14th. This is NQ in TradingView with 1-minute candles. I've got some indicators here, and you can look at my past videos to see what those are all about and how to set them up. The colorful candles here, that's Nebula, and these great signals. We've got Bollinger Band. The yellow moving average is at EMA 21. The blue moving average is a SMA 20 that comes with the Bollinger Band. And normally I don't like to trade the first half hour because it's too choppy. This is a great downtrend though, and then here it gets choppy. So if you're someone that likes to get in early, then you could have did very well on this. But you need to wait for the pullbacks. If you open a position basically on almost any of these downtrends, there's a big pullback that will take you out. So the theme for today is patience. It should be your theme every day. Put a limit order on the EMA, in this case EMA 21, because price comes down and pulls back to EMA 21, does that a couple times. So this would be the perfect entry as price pulls back and touches the EMA 21 before coming back down again. So you'd hit 50 points. That's 200 ticks in a minute. And could you do even better? Of course you could, because there's lots of space between the EMA 21 and the price here. Then we've got great velocity, great momentum. So you could have hung on much longer, and of course if you had perfect timing, you could have got 200 points. But we don't. So we wait for a price to give us a clue that it's turning around and coming back up. This here candle making a new high here, I'd probably be getting out here. And this is when we see the wave trend give us a signal it might be going up, I'd be getting out there. So let's say that candle close there with the check mark appears there. That would be 150 points if we could hang on like that. And that's a fantastic win. So then what do we do? Well, price goes sideways here. We're below the EMA 21. So we could be trying to go do a short down from here, but notice our squeeze momentum thinks we're going up, and we're seeing some blue buy momentum here. Wave trend thinks we're going up, so I don't think I would go down here, although we're below the EMA 21. And we probably could have got 40 points, maybe even 50. But then price spikes back up here, and that'd be stopping us out if we tried to do that, and then just chop here for a while. So where do we get back in? Well, we see squeeze momentum thinks we're going up, and wave trend also thinks we're going up, even though the price isn't exactly going up until here when we break above the EMA 21. Now I like to wait for the pullback, have patience, wait for the pullback. There wasn't. Now if you like to just dive in, well, you could have made 50 or more points right there, but I would have missed out on that. I would have waited for the pullback, and I would be hoping, because we were on a good uptrend here, that we would pull back to the EMA 21 and continue, but it didn't. I would have got stopped out right here as price continues down, and it pulls back to EMA 21 before continuing down again. Would I be looking to go short here? Probably would. I'd be waiting for a pullback, so I'd be going here, and then I'd get stopped out again. So let's just, for fun, let's add a 50 point if I waited for it here, but I think I would not. See, if I did that, I get stopped out for sure. Why would I not? Because we're too flat here. There's not much volume here, and the comma's flat, and we're already chopping up and down here. So this is chop city. So I think I'd just be waiting it out for price to determine which way we're going to go. Because our theme for today is patience, so just wait. So here, I actually remembered this. I remember opening along here. Price came up and then pulled back to the EMA 21, and I got in right there, and that was a quick 50 points. Could I have done more than that? Well, sure I could have. Price went up to, well, eventually it went up right here to almost 100 points at this candle here. But I think I'd just get 50 points here because I worry about the chop, so I don't know how high we're going. Now price came back down here again to the EMA 21, so if you missed this one, you could have got in here. It's pretty flat though. I'd be nervous about getting in, although EMA 21 has a good upwards trend. but our volume is low, so it could go either way. So right after that, squeeze momentum is going down, and wave trend is showing that we might be switching to go down. The volume is very low, so don't do anything. Just wait. Theme is patience. Wait for something to happen, and sure enough, it happens right here. Price breaks down hard through the EMA 21. Goes sideways a little bit, but with some wicks heading up and testing the EMA 21, and this is a perfect entry right here. So you could have quickly got 50 points there, but could you have done better than that? Well, sure you could, because there's good separation between the price and the EMA 21. Just hold that open. And where could we go? Let me just shrink this a bit so we can see. So if you got the kahunas to hold this open, where could we go? Well, we could have got down to more than 300 points. But I wouldn't keep it that long. I would say when price comes up, well, it comes up many times to retest the EMA 21, and even left on some places where you could have gone short. These pullbacks to near the EMA 21, but this is right here where it breaks above. We see some buy signals, we see buy volume here, so this is where I'd be getting out if I could stay on that long. Let's see, somewhere right about there. So that's 280 points. That's a fantastic one. That's a home run there. But I put some other things on here because I want to point this out, that you don't always have to get back to the EMA 21. Sometimes this kind of candle shows that we're going down. So you can see we've got this this color here, and there's another one right here, another one there, another one there. If you would have entered at the close of any of those candles, indicating that we're on a downtrend there, then that's easy 50 points. 50, 50, it's 150, there's 200 points right there. Here's a pullback to the comma. I'd be nervous about this one because our indicators show we're going up. Squeeze momentum, got the buy volume here, wave trends as we're going up. I'd be nervous about entering this one because now we just go sideways for a while. And we're at about noon now. And it looks like we're going up. Wait for a pullback. It does pull back to the EMA 21, but it doesn't go back up again. So would I have got stopped out here? There's a good chance. I'd be hoping that we'd be going up. So let's just, for fun, let's add a position here. It goes down. And we can even move this over and say there's that colored candle indicating the downtrend right there. Whoops, that's the wrong direction though. That's a long, and we're going short. So let's fix that up. So if we would have put that in, we'd probably get stopped out of the next candle as price jumps back up a bit. It doesn't even come down to 50, it comes down to a little bit less than that, maybe 45. So yeah, I'd probably get stopped out there. So look at our indicators here. It looks like we're going up. I like this. And then price comes back to test the EMA 21, but it's too flat. We don't have a good sense of direction. And we've got these hollow candles here because they're losing our momentum. You see the candles are below the dead zone line on the WADA ATAR explosion indicator. But I like this. Here's that color candle saying we're on a downtrend. And we go down hard, and then we pull back up to the EMA 21. This is what I'd be looking for, to pull back to the EMA 21, because then there's a relatively low risk short. And could we have gotten down more? We could have, but it's been choppy, so be happy with your 50 points. If you would have hung on, you would have got stopped out with this gigantic spike upwards. And then we go sideways for a while. So I've got this indicator here. I'll show you what this one looks like. So this is the range identifier by Lazy Bear, and it draws these lines. And it does a good job, but it's not perfect. In this case, it thought the range is much higher than it really was. Really, we had a range here, and then price broke up. You see some good buy volume there, and then we'd range again here. So I would have missed out this whole thing. I'd be sitting out here because it's just Chop City, and then we go up, and there was no pullback until right here. So would I have gone long here? I don't think so, because our indicators are showing we're going down and low buy volume here. So I don't think I'd be getting in here. And sure enough, we just go sideways for a while. And then how long is this whole thing? That's 1301 to 33, almost an hour just going sideways. And then finally we break out. And I remember this breakout because I remember I jumped on this because often there's liquidity above and below when prices getting squeezed like this. There's lots of people opening shorts hoping we're going down and their stop loss is above there, and similarly there's people hoping it's going up and there's stop losses below, and every stop loss turns into the opposite order. So if you're going short, the stop loss is a buy. So that means if you can break above, then you get lots of stop losses kicking off and turning into buy volume and creating upward momentum. And sure enough, it was an easy 50 points. Now, I didn't wait for a pullback. I could have here, this one was, but I like to, because I saw this volume spiking up and our indicators show we're going up. When we break above consolidation like this, I don't mind jumping in with a position, and that was a quick 50 points. Pull back to the MA21, and that worked out with a long there. Bollinger Band is very tight though. You can see our momentum is very slow and volume is very slow. Momentum disappeared, but price stays above the EMA21 for a long time. So, here's a quick 50 points. If you had the patience, the stomach for it, could you have just hung on and see where it goes? Well, sure you could have. And, it went up 150, almost 150 points. So, if your strategy is just to say, keep it open until it crosses back below the EMA21, here it closes below, but then jumps back up again. So I wouldn't count that as breaking below. And you could have got 100 or more points there. And now we're in the end of the day. Normally I don't like to do the last half hour of the day. This is 16, so this is 15:30, right about here. So I like this. We were going up and it pulls back. So would I have opened a position here? I don't think I would have, because our squeeze momentum shows are going down. We've got sell volume. Wave trend says we're going down. If I would have opened a long here, I would have got stopped out. Similarly, we're going sideways now, but it pulled back to the EMA21. Would I opened a short here? I did. I showed it here on the chart just to illustrate. I would have got stopped out, but I wouldn't have done that because price is going sideways. The comma is going horizontal, and there's no good separation down and a pull back, back up to EMA21. EMA21 is not going up, it's not going down, so it's going sideways. Similar with here, would I have opened a short here? Well, we're going down, we've got some sell volume, but price is just going sideways. You could have made a few points, but you wouldn't have made 50 before you got stopped out here. So when price is just hugging the comma like this, then I just sit on my hands and I just watch. I wouldn't have done that. I'm going to take that one off. And now we're at the end of the day, and sometimes there's a run at the end of the day, but often it's too choppy, so usually I don't like to do the end of the day. This is the last 15 minutes. Price pulls down. Does it pull back up? It pulls up here, but not as high as I would have wanted. I would have wanted to go up here to the EMA21, and it doesn't get there. Similarly, comes down, never comes back up, so I wouldn't have got any positions in here. So overall, how was today? Today was very good if you can be patient, if you can wait for those pullbacks to the EMA21. And sometimes you're going to get stopped out because it pull back to the EMA21 goes a little too far, or maybe it doesn't pull back far enough to hit your entry, your limit order, like here. Maybe you had it a little higher. That's life. No big deal. Be patient. If you miss a trade, there's always another trade. And that's it from Monday, April 14th.